Hey turkeys, this is Dan and Margie from the Gen-Xers, and we just got done watching Old Dads, the new Bill Burr movie on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
All right, look, I'm a huge Bill Burr fan. I love his stand-up. I like when he's on the talk shows and doing his jokes and being funny.
Gold toe socks.
I'm a banker.
What are you, a sitcom dad in the 50s?
I am a big fan of Gen X, obviously. I had high hopes for this movie when I saw the critics disliked it, but the audiences liked it because, I like the Adam Sandler dumb comedies. I like Here Come the Boom. I'll watch Here Come the Boom anytime it's on.
Or Grown-Ups.
Here Come the Boom, Here Comes the Dan.
You have said, this is a man who has said that he would have taken that $1.72 whatever trillion Powerball prize. So if you're hearing this, Powerball prize winners, you could donate to this cause, because what he was going to do was get the whole cast together for a Grown-Ups 3 that you would direct.
Yeah, if I
correct?
win $1 billion on the Powerball, the first thing I'm going to do is finance Grown-Ups 3.
You can look for that. So if that ever comes out from the Gen Xers, you'll know.
So I was really looking forward to this, man. I thought it was going to be funny. I didn't love it.
No.
Bill Burr's latest film is heavily dividing critics and audiences.
Let's sum up the plot a little bit. So Bill Burr is the main dude.
Three old fellas.
Three old
Gen
fellas.
Xers.
Us.
Cantankerous old
If
fucks.
there were three of us, if there was a third person, we were all dudes, you'd be looking at the main characters right there.
Selling the business for private college. Because your younger wife wants you to.
Now what? No. Was that it?
I don't know. Getting fired for, I don't know, talking something trash in
The company vehicle.
Yeah,
And
being
you were-
spied on. Look, it's hard to sum up the plot, really. There's a lot
If
of scenes that don't necessarily all weave together.
I have summed up the plot by saying, and that, I'm sorry, but that incense is really
It's
smoky.
choking me to death. We
It
bought
is.
this
Let's-
dragon incense thing, and we thought, hey, man,
Let's
turn that on the channel, and it's like there's a fire in here. My God.
Dear God, we need a. Okay.
Oh, look at that. But it is.
It is
We got this at the farmer's market.
I'm going to sum up the plot of this movie by saying, if it would be exactly what you would hear if you had like 5 or 6, like 6-year-old boys in your living room for a slumber party, and they were all talking amongst each other and making up a story. That's exactly what this would sound like. Yeah, and then they go to Vegas. Yeah. And then, what is it? Then the parents are going to divorce.
Yeah, there is Vegas. Oh, that was the funniest part, is when the parents were going to divorce, Bill Burr's getting kicked out, and the kid was like, why is Daddy leaving? Kramer versus Kramer, Gen X version.
Yeah,
I
pause
used
for the...
that, I think.
Yeah, I said dramatic pause for the Kramer versus Kramer interlude. I like to go into movies as I go into life, Dan. As an optimist, I'm looking for that connection with a character, with a character's story. I wanted to like these characters,
Sure.
but I didn't.
I was the same way. I don't really... Like I told you afterwards, I feel like, okay, if Adam Sandler had done the same movie, it could have been goofy and funny and silly and enjoyable. Or you could have made a more serious version where you had people actually act like middle-aged Gen X new dads trying to get by in this new world and still be very funny. This was trying to be somewhere in the middle, like the tone seemed all over the place to me.
It really was.
And I mean, I don't want to sound like Siskel and Ebert here. I wasn't expecting it to be a masterpiece, but in the end, I barely laughed. That was the big thing. It's supposed to me, for a comedy, the number one thing is if I'm laughing, it's a good comedy. I don't care if the plot makes sense or anything.
That's true. And there is something to be said about those goofy movies where, you're laughing at fart jokes, basically. But this was a movie that pushed at times for what we're not sure. We're not sure what you're pushing for. Your causes were here, there, and everywhere. I don't know that they were causes at points. And you totally missed the Gen X vibe as a representative of my little section of Gen Xers that I know.
Oh, let's face it. We speak for all
We
of us.
speak for a nation here. I don't know of anybody who acts in any way like any of these characters in the movie. I could not relate.
Yeah, I know a lot of middle-aged men, being one myself, and no, not really.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. I mean, I can remember back I haven't stepped foot in a gym since the 90s, but even back when I used to go, if you acted like that, then people would be calling you a meathead or ridiculous or something like that, right? Not like these guys are acting as like 50-year-olds screaming at each other, calling each other names for private parts.
Well, and
I'm not going
names,
to say which name. There's a million of them.
meant to incense, to kind of like.
I'm going to tell you which part.
Well, there were scenes that were definitely designed to push boundaries, to push buttons and say something. But we need to figure out what that message is before we push so hard, because then you're just pushing.
Look, I mean, I know people, I guess, were offended by this movie in some way. I didn't find anything offensive. It's just kind of boring. Like, 36 minutes in, I thought, okay, this has to be almost over, right? A lot's happened.
A lot's happened. We didn't go to Vegas in the first 36 minutes, but that would come later for some unknown. Well, not Vegas, Palm
Almost
Springs,
Vegas.
Right? I don't know. For
Cincinnati?
some reason, it became a bro movie, and then it became a family drama, and then it was
It should have been a bro movie. Then maybe it would have been all right.
It just wasn't a comedy. It really wasn't a comedy. So.
It was a lot. And then at the end, it tries to have this heartfelt, twisty-turny thing that just makes it seem like, okay, you don't even have the guts to stand by the rest of the movie.
What you've pushed so hard to tell us?
So you're going to have this barely earned, quote-unquote, redemption. Because if you ask me, he was right in the first place. You don't need to go to no private school. By the way, this whole thing's about private school versus public school.
Was it?
Vouchers. Like
Or-
there's at least 45 minutes where they're talking about vouchers.
Were they
No
talking
child
about
left
that?
behind.
Were they talking about that, or were they talking about corporate greed, Dan? I don't know what their message was, and I don't think they did either.
Look, I do know one thing. They're watching this all the time. They were right about that.
They were right about that.
We're watching you. Subscribe. Hit that subscribe button.
That's
We see ya.
right. And hit like too.
Yeah. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends, or we're gonna tell Bill Burr, and he'll come call you a name
Bill Burr.
that we wouldn't call you that name, but Bill Burr might.
Please subscribe, because he saw us almost choke to death in order to bring you some special effects. That was our entire budget was blown on that dragon.
Yeah, we need. We do so much for you guys. Come on.
Marge, do you have anything else left to say, hon?
No, I don't. But yeah, hit like and subscribe. And I don't know about recommending this movie. I
don't really.
don't know what to tell you. Take a look.
Yeah, check
If
out
you
one.
want.
Check out one of Bill Burr's comedy specials on Netflix instead, is what I would say, or some of his really funny late night talk show clips. How many? What should we rate this on? Do you think?
Oh, let's see. What's our rating system gonna be? How many babies would you rate it?
3 out of 5. No,
Ooh.
well, probably not even 3 out of 5. Probably like 2.5. I mean, this is a solid C minus.
I'd go 2. I'm afraid.
2.
I'm going
So you're going
2.
D.
C minus D.
D plus D.
I'm afraid. Although I, like you, enjoy some Bill Burr comedy.
Yeah.
So Sorry about it.
Later, taters.